Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Trevor here, coming at you with yet another video on Metaplanet stock. It's been quite the day. Before I get into that though, if you do like Tesla, you like AI, you like crypto, you like those kind of topics, and you like watching videos about that, definitely don't forget to subscribe, because that's what we talk about on this channel. So yeah, like and subscribe. So Metaplanet stock, you guys got to hear me out. I get that it keeps going down and down and down, but we really have hit the bottom. Like, that's my humble personal opinion, is that the bottom is absolutely in. Anything in the twos is just a steal for Metaplanet, in my personal opinion. It's just an absolute steal. Now that could change. Let's say that Bitcoin goes to 80,000 a coin or 90,000 or something like that. Then yeah, of course it could go down a little bit further in the twos, but it's like at current prices for Bitcoin, which Bitcoin's around 110, 112K today. I mean, you're not going to get any lower than it's at right now, because the MNAV is basically 1. I actually saw an article that was posted yesterday saying that for the first time ever, Metaplanet's MNAV is actually less than 1. So in other words, they are worth less than the Bitcoin that they hold on their balance sheet, and they have less than 1% debt with respect to the Bitcoin they have on their balance sheet. So with all that in mind, you're basically buying this company that has this humongous opportunity in this very tech-driven country known as Japan, right? So they've got opportunities in the US as well, but it's like they're really a Japanese-focused company, and they're basically taking over the Bitcoin sector in Japan. So yeah, it is important also to keep in mind that yeah, the stock price is in the high 2s, low 3s today, but they have diluted equity quite a bit, and they've also said that they're going to stop doing that at deflated MNAVs like they are right now. They've literally came out and posted that like an announcement maybe a week ago or so, that they're suspending all dilution essentially. So it's like, yeah, if you look at the stock price, it was $15 2 or 3 months ago. Today it's 3, right? And to be fair, like, if they hadn't diluted, stock price equals market cap divided by outstanding shares. If the outstanding shares hadn't have gotten so big, the stock price would be higher, right? But at the same time, they would have less Bitcoin. So just keep in mind that this is really, if you look at it like from a dilution perspective, the company should be worth $5 or $6 per share. The only reason they're at 3-ish right now is because they did dilute quite a bit at fairly low MNAVs, to be fair. Which was an unfortunate circumstance for Metaplanet about a month ago or so, but it is what it is. The management team said they did kind of screw that one up. I think they'll be smarter in the future, and also to be fair, Michael Saylor as well as Simon Garovich, Dylan McClare, they all said, hey, we are going to mess this up. It's impossible not to. It's very important as a shareholder and an investor to understand what you're getting into, right? And Metaplanet is a very, very volatile stock. It's a stock that traders, I'm sure, absolutely love. It kind of sucks. You got to pay $50 in like an OTC fee whenever you buy even like a single share. But from what I've seen, it doesn't matter if you buy 1 share or you buy 5,000 shares. It's just like a set $50 fee. So that's an interesting thing to note. But it's like, basically, if you were to even start your own Bitcoin treasury company, how would you do it, right? You'd basically take guesses at when you think Bitcoin is going to go up a lot, when it's going to stay low, and you're going to get those guesses wrong. And especially if you're just dollar cost averaging over time as a Bitcoin treasury company, as Microstrategy and Metaplanet have been doing for quite some time, it's like, yeah, you're going to buy Bitcoin at 120 and it's going to go back to 110, right? That's just inevitable. That's going to happen. It doesn't change the fact that Bitcoin's probably going to $1 million within a few years. Then nothing changes that. I mean, just go ask Larry Fink from BlackRock, right? I mean, these gigantic institutions are just buying Bitcoin left and right, hand over fist, right? So it's like the writing's on the wall. Donald Trump himself has almost $1 billion worth of Bitcoin with respect to how much he owns of his American Bitcoin Treasury Company, right? I believe ticker ABTC. So it's like the writing's on the wall. Everyone's talking about how capital gains tax on crypto might go down a lot or possibly to nothing. They're talking about how Bitcoin might be put in 401ks. Morgan Stanley has already, basically, they did it like a week or two ago. They announced that all of their clients and the many trillions of dollars worth of assets they have under management can now be used to allocate towards Bitcoin. So it's like, I've said it and I'm going to keep pounding the table on this. It's like, if you believe in the future of Bitcoin, it's almost impossible not to also believe in the future of Microstrategy and Metaplanet, right? And Metaplanet being the most risky of all. You've seen like Bitcoin has been stable while Metaplanet or Microstrategy go down, right? That is explained very simply by volatility is vitality, right? That is what Michael Saylor has told all of us on his X account, right? And it makes 100,000% sense if you ask me. It's like, yeah, in times where Bitcoin is like going nuts and there's tons of FOMO regarding buying and holding Bitcoin, it's like, yeah, these Bitcoin treasury companies that have been accumulating Bitcoin with other people's money, right? They're going to get, bought up, and there's going to be a lot of FOMO in them, right? So it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, if Bitcoin's moving a lot of it, if Bitcoin is volatile to the upside, you're going to get leveraged Bitcoin exposure with respect to MicroStrategy, and I think even further leverage with Metaplanet, right? Because Metaplanet doesn't have the scale yet that MicroStrategy has. They don't have 650,000 Bitcoin. They've got a little over 30,000, right? But MicroStrategy has said, or I guess Michael Saylor, the guy that runs the MicroStrategy, has said many times he cannot access the Japanese market. There had to be a Japanese specific company to take advantage of the Bitcoin treasury operations in Japan, right? Because of, there's various different issues, but the real reason is basically MicroStrategy is an American company. And Japan's not going to let, MicroStrategy take over the Bitcoin operations in Japan. So there's like there's an interest rate yield issue there, right? So yeah, it would be hard to see Metaplanet get to MicroStrategy levels of as far as like how many Bitcoins they've accumulated, but also they don't need to, it's like, look at AMD and Nvidia, right? Nvidia is like on a whole nother level than AMD, but AMD is still doing very well. They just signed a deal with OpenAI and their stock price just went up by like 50% in like a night, right? And AMD is nowhere near Nvidia's level, right? On anything. Nvidia is like in a class of its own, right? So, and that's kind of like MicroStrategy. Like MicroStrategy is in a class of its own when it comes to how much percentage of Bitcoin it's going to own with respect to how much Bitcoin there ever will exist, right? So Metaplanet, maybe they never get to 650,000 Bitcoins. Maybe Bitcoin goes up too much before they can accumulate that much of the asset. But it's like they still have this goal of getting over 200,000 Bitcoins on the balance sheet. Not only that, but even today they have got 1% debt to asset ratio. So this company's going nowhere. I bet Bitcoin could go to like $5,000 before like basically Metaplanet would go bankrupt. I don't know what the actual number is, but it's around there. It's like Bitcoin. We're never seeing Bitcoin at $5,000 again. That's my humble personal opinion. If we do, it's going to go to zero, in my opinion. Like it's just, there's no way that the asset's that volatile. And we've never, and as Tom Lee says, we've never seen an asset get to a $2 trillion valuation and then fail. It's never happened. So, I mean, if you just consider all of these ideas and how like large like crypto is and like the industry of crypto, it's hard not to be insanely bullish on Metaplanet, especially at MNAVs close to 1. It's like, if you do believe in Bitcoin, you do believe in Metaplanet, now is the time to back the Brinks truck up. Like, I'm slamming the freaking table on this one. It's like when I saw Metaplanet today under 3, I scooped up some shares. Let's put it that way. I sold a little bit of my Tesla position, not a lot. I sold just a few $1,000s, and I bought like a little less than 1,000 shares of Metaplanet. I already have quite a few, right? So I don't want to get too invested in a smaller asset like that, in a small cap. But it's like at a certain point, you've hit the bottom, right? And right now with Metaplanet at an MNAV of less than 1, I mean, guys, if that stays this way, they've already explained they're going to do share buybacks. They're literally going to take their money and they're going to buy their shares instead of Bitcoin with it, because there's no reason not to. You're literally getting a discount on Bitcoin if you buy them at an MNAV less than 1. It's like, it's such a crazy world we live in that, you know, the Peter Schiffs of the world and like all these other bears can actually make such an impact on like the Bitcoin treasury companies specifically, even though Bitcoin there's not much happened to it, right? Like Bitcoin's been trading between 110 and 125 for like a couple months now, right? But for some reason, MicroStrategy's at $300 a share. Metaplanet's at $3 a share. And even, you know, based on the dilution, you can just say, you know, Metaplanet's at $5 or $6 a share. Why? You know, that should be alarming. You know, it's not because like they're a scam. Maybe some people think these Bitcoin treasury companies are a scam. I am not in that, you know, I am not in that group of people. I think that looking at today's prices from Metaplanet, you're talking about a small cap stock. It's only worth a few $1 billion, and they've got a few $1 billion in Bitcoin on the balance sheet, right? So you think about that, it's like, I really see a lot of success for this company, short-term and long-term. If Bitcoin does, like I said, go down a lot in the short term, okay, fine. You're gonna see Metaplanet go down as well. But as far as like a risk-reward basis, it's really hard to find, in my opinion, a better stock option than Metaplanet. Obviously, I like Metaplanet, I like MicroStrategy, I like Tesla, I like Tom Lee's company, Bitmine. I like all these companies. I'm diversified. I like CRISPR. I like the general way that Cathie Woods invests, where you take calculated bets. And I think that Metaplanet right now is just looking so good. You know what I mean? It's looking so good at these prices. It's like, kind of like what Warren Buffett says. It's like, you know, don't buy when it's high and everyone wants to buy it. Buy it when everyone's scared. Buy it when there's blood in the streets. And with Metaplanet at a $3, sub $3 price per share, that's blood in the streets, my friends. That is blood in the streets. MNAV's less than 1. That's blood in the streets, my friends. I'm telling you, buy when everyone else is scared to buy. Look back on this video. I'm telling you, in just a few months time, a year time, 2 years time, especially next Bitcoin cycle by 2030, whoo! I can only imagine where Metaplanet's going to be, you know? This is all before perpetual preferred stock issuance in Japan. This is all before they continue to buy the crud out of Bitcoin with other people's money. That's the way to do it, my friends. Buy the assets with other people's money that give you a CAGR of 30-40%, and they're going to be paying 6% for something that's interest rate arbitrage like no bank in the U.S. can have. I mean, credit cards, they arbitrage like 25%, right? That's on like the same level as a credit card, you know, if not more, right? Because you got all this upside in the Bitcoin price. So yeah, guys, I couldn't be more bullish on Metaplanet. I think the valuation is looking beautiful. And I think looking back on today, even like fairly short term, definitely long term, but even fairly short term, I mean, this stock is a trader's dream. And it's also, in my opinion, like the way I do it, I think it's an investor's dream. I think it's going to make a lot of people really happy in the long term. So yeah, guys, if you found value in this video, you like I said, if you like stocks and crypto, AI stocks specifically, you like changing the world, and you find value in the way that I invest and the information I can provide, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You know, we do this every day. We talk about the opportunities that the market has. And don't forget to comment. Let me know if I missed anything. I'm happy to make more videos and address what I've missed or address people's concerns and comments, you know, and I want to learn alongside you guys. So don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and have yourself a fantastic rest of your day.